Prime factorization. This is section 2-6. In order to do prime factorization, first we have to remember what prime numbers are. Here's a list of prime numbers. All these numbers are prime. What makes a number prime? Well, what makes a number prime is the only way you can get it when you're multiplying is times 1. The only way to make 2 multiplying is 2 times 1. That makes it prime. The only way to make 3 is 3 times 1. That's what makes it prime. The only way to make 5 when you're multiplying is 5 times 1. That makes it prime. 7 times 1. Only way to make 7. 11 times 1. The only way to make 11. 13 times 1. Only way to make 13. And so on and so forth. Prime numbers only have 2 factors, 1 and itself. These are the factors of 2. These are the factors of 3, factors of 5, factors of 7, factors of 11, factors of 13. It's always 1 and itself. We also need to know what composite numbers are. Composite numbers are the numbers that have more than 1 in itself for factors. They have different ways to make them when you're multiplying. For instance, you could make the number 4 by going 4 times 1, or you could make the number 4 by going 2 times 2. That's what makes 4 a composite number. If this was the only thing that could make 4, it would be prime. But since it's got 2 things that make 4, it's composite. Same with 6. You could make 6 by saying 6 times 1 is 6, or 2 times 3 is 6. So it's composite. What about the number 12? Well, you could say 12 times 1 is 12, 2 times 6 is 12, and 3 times 4 is 12. That's also a composite number. So all of the numbers you see here are composite numbers because they have more than one set of factors. Okay? Prime numbers only have one set of factors. Composite numbers have more than one set of factors. Now, did anybody notice that I left an important number off the prime and composite list? Maybe you should stop the video and go back and see which number I left off. I left off the number 1 because 1 is not prime and 1 is not composite. So in math, we say 1 is neither prime nor composite. It's not either. 1 gets its own special category. It's just 1. It's the only number that's not prime and it's not composite. Okay, get ready to do some practice problems. You're going to write C for composite or P for prime beside each one of these numbers. Be careful though, there's one exception. Okay, here's your answers. Did you get them all right? Surely you did not let me trick you with that 1. Now, we're going to do some prime factorization. That means we're going to find the prime numbers that you multiply together to get a certain number. And we're going to do it first using what some books call a step diagram and some books call dividing by primes. So the very first step to do this is to, at the top of your paper, tomorrow when we work homework, we will write this at the top of our paper. List the first several primes. I listed the first 11 primes because you usually don't go higher than this. These are usually the numbers you're going to need. Okay, so let's take the number 36. Okay, and we're going to do a step diagram or divide by primes. So we're going to put the 36 down and put this weird sort of upside down division box. And then we're going to go in order, and we're going to start with 2. Does 2 go into 36? Well, yes, it does. So put your 2 out here and divide it into 36, and you'll get 18. Draw another step. Now, go back to the 2 every time we start at this beginning. Does 2 go into 18? Well, yes, it does. 2 goes into 18 9 times, and then put another step. And then go back up here. Does 2 go into 9? No, it doesn't. So next you try 3. There's the 3. 3 goes into 9. So we put a 3 here and a 3 here. Now this is super important. When the very bottom number becomes one of these prime numbers, that's how you know to stop. You don't keep going, you stop. So now we're going to write our numbers out in order from smallest to biggest, from least to greatest. So we're going to say 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. Those are the numbers on the outside of the step and at the bottom. Notice they're all prime numbers. If I had a number in this that wasn't prime, my answer would be wrong. And it needs to be in order from least to greatest. Now there's another way you can write it. You could write it with a power. Because isn't 2 times 2 really 2 to the second power? And 3 times 3 is 3 to the second power. So both of those answers are correct. You could have this answer or this answer. I like both of them. And guess what? You can even check your answer. All you have to do is multiply your factors back. So multiply back and go, well, 2 times 2, that's 4, right? 2 times 2, that's 4. Times 3, times 3. See, 2 times 2, 4, times the next 3, times 3. What's that? 12. Okay, and then you have one more 3 left over to multiply. What is 12 times 3? Well, that's 36. Isn't that what we started with? That's what we started with. So this is just called checking your answer. Multiply it back and see if you get this same 36. These are your actual answers. You can use this answer. You can use this answer. Awesome. Let's do another one. Okay, let's do the prime factorization of the number 65. Okay, remember, we're going to start with 2. Does 2 go into 65? No. 2 doesn't go into odd numbers. That 5 makes it odd. Does 3 go into 65? No. The way you can tell if 3 goes into something is you can add up the digits. 6 plus 5 is 11. 3 doesn't go into 11, so it doesn't go into 65. That only works for 3. Next, does 5 go into 65? Yes, it does. In fact, 5 goes into 65. And what is that? 13. Oh, look, 13 is one of my prime numbers. I get to stop. So what's my answer? Least to greatest, 5 times 13. You have to have the times sign. For some reason, I always have kids that want to put something like 5 comma 13. That's totally wrong. That answer gets marked wrong. It has to be 5 times 13. Can you check your answer? Sure. Multiply back 5 times 13, you're going to get 65. Here's your answer. Here's your video homework. Make sure you do it exactly the way I showed you using the step diagram or dividing by primes. Make sure you go in order. Start with the smallest prime number every time. Make sure you write your answer from least to greatest. If you're confused, you need to go back and watch the examples in the video so you can make sure you know what you're doing. Thank you. Have a great night.